Hi, in today's video tutorial we're going to talk about payment setup. So the first thing is to log in as an admin or host and then navigate to the page where you've added the Buy Now module. And then go to the Store Admin menu and select Payment Setup. Okay, so there's four tabs on the Payment Setup. Uh, Payment Methods, Payment Zones, Payment Gateways, and Custom Payment Fields. So let's talk about the payment gateways first. Um, the drop down here lists all the payment gateways that you can select from. There's about 40. Right now it's set to manual, and what manual means is that you can check out without actually processing the credit card. When you select a gateway that does real-time authorizations, say like authorize.net, you'll see uh, most of the gateways, they use different terminology, but it's basically a user ID and password for the gateway to authenticate. So you'll enter your credentials, and then some of the gateways, you'll get this callback URL or an IPN for an instant payment notification. And what that means is that the gateway will sometimes post back to the store, and typically this is used for recurring billing. So if I set up a recurring billing transaction, the gateway will bill that, say, monthly, and then post the payment results back to the store so that we can store it in the payment history table so the user can see it in the My Accounts module. Um, so just choose your gateway, and if you need help setting up a gateway, just give us a call or open up a help desk ticket off our website. Okay, so test mode. Uh, Most of the gateways have a test mode or a live mode. So typically before you go live, you're going to want to go and test some transactions using test mode. Authorize only. Typically, when most e-commerce sites, they'll do an auth and a settle or auth and capture. But sometimes you just want to do an auth only and not auto settle the transaction. So if you select auth only, then the cart will send an auth only transaction and won't uh, try and settle it, automatically settle it. But this is the not the majority case. Most of the time you won't have auth only. The credit card types that you're supported, just check the boxes there. Um, you can check the box to say do not save credit cards. If you do save credit cards, they are encrypted, PCI compliant, RSA 256-bit encryption. So it is okay to save the credit cards. They are encrypted. Okay, the payment checkout options here are so normally you have, say, a gateway. We'll set up an authorize.net gateway, and you can set up additional checkout options. So you can also give the user the option to check out with PayPal, PayPal Standard, Amazon Checkout, Google Checkout. Affirm is a new one that is basically allows financing options. So they offer financing, so that's an interesting one. Bill Me Later is basically allows an option for the user to check out um, without entering their credit card and essentially bill me later. So you can capture the order and then contact the customer later for payment. So those are all the options available under payment gateways. Okay, so let's talk about these two payment methods and payment zones. So payment methods are when the user checks out, um, they have the option of checking out with credit card, check, PO. Let's look at some of the different payment methods. So here's all the different payment methods. So credit card obviously is the most popular. E-check, ACH, checking and savings. So that will debit right out of a checking or savings account. Um, checking, check with account, um, and internet banking. These are different options for um, these are not real time, meaning actually the rest of these are essentially manual. They'll collect the information from the user when they check out, but they don't do real time processing. These top three are real time processing through the gateway, like Authorize.net or PayPal or SagePay, whichever gateway you're using. When the user enters their credit card or their bank account routing number, the cart will send a real-time transaction to the gateway and get an authorization code for the top three here. The ones starting with checking and below uh, do not contact the gateway for real-time processing. So these are different options that will prompt the user for checking information, internet banking information. Purchase order obviously is an offline transaction, so the user would get prompted to enter a PO, and there'd be no real-time credit card because they're essentially POs on credit like net 30, net 60. Bank wire presents the user with bank wire information so that they can wire the money. Money order, cash, CODs, cash on delivery, check is a paper check, and telephone. So these are all essentially manual payment methods. Um, and then surcharge percent or amount allows you to add a percent or a surcharge amount to the transaction. Um, Actually, I skipped zone. So zone allows you to set up different payment zones. So I could have different payment types or payment methods by zone. So on the zone screen, I've set up a zone here for US. You can see here, select US, and I've selected all the states here. So you could actually set up another payment zone for, say, another country, say Canada, and I would choose, you can see all the countries here, choose Canada, and then you can choose the regions in Canada. So now I have two regions or two zones set up, US and Canada. So now um, when I'm adding a payment method, I can select a zone. So right now you can see I have a credit card payment method uh, for the US zone, and I can add another one for Active lets you mark it as inactive but not delete it. Um, so I can go credit card here and choose Canada. So essentially, if users checking out and they enter their address information and it's a Canadian address, then they're going to get uh, they'll get a different payment method displayed, and you could set different surcharges for this. You could set price range restrictions, um, meaning that they can only use this payment method for order amounts from and to this range. You can set monthly limits for this payment method. Um, you can you can require a deposit. So if you're allowing a user to check out without paying the full amount, you can require a certain deposit to be entered, and then a percent of the total order amount. So if it's a $100 order, I could require 20% deposit so that they'd be able to check out and just pay 20 bucks. Step 2, label 1 and 2. The step 2 page is the payment page and the checkout, so you could put in custom labels here. Email message, you can put a custom payment message in the email, and then the share flag allows you to share payment methods across buy now modules. So SmithCart supports multi-store, so within a single portal you could have, say, 2 different stores. You could have 10 different stores if you wanted, but say 2 different stores, and then you could just set up all your payment methods in one store and share payment methods across buy now modules if you wanted to. And the reason you'd want 2 different stores is if you had like a store for the public and then you had a store for distributors or resellers, or you could have 2 different stores for, say, one that we did recently. I could have a rare coin store with different configurations and pricing set up, and then I could have a store for selling bullion, which has different pricing and setups and configuration of the store. So that's basically the setting up your payment method. And you can set up as many different payment methods here as you want. Custom payment fields. So this first option allows you to configure how the billing information is pre-populated or auto-populated. So the default is to populate the billing name and address information from the shipping information that was entered by the user. You can default the payment information to the name and address from the user profile, or you can just do not auto-populate it, just have it blank. But the default is to automatically populate it from the shipping name and address. There's an option to show an invoice number on the payment screen. So if this payment that the user's making a payment in reference to an invoice number that you've already sent them or they already have, you can show this invoice number text box and they can enter that invoice and it's saved with the order. Show wallet. So the cart has a feature to a user wallet that you can display on the payment screen. So the user can store different payment methods. So they can store different credit cards. If I have a Visa, MasterCard, American Express, I can store all those so I don't have to key those in all the time. You can share wallets by role. You can show a PO number field in addition to the payment method. You can only show purchase order or PO number by role. So only certain roles, say distributors or resellers, will see the PO number, or users that are in a custom role that you DNN role that you create. The merchant bank name and merchant account number works with the internet banking payment method, so that you can enter your bank name and account number, and it will be displayed here, so that they can make payment directly to your account. Show billing terms is a um, custom. It's a multi-line box here that will be displayed during checkout to the user if you enable it, and you can basically put in your payment terms or your billing terms. Um, you could say this uh, order must be paid within, you know, 30 days, or you could say, you know, all orders are uh, non-refundable. You know, any payment terms that your company uses, you can display to the user here if you check this box. So I'm just going to show the wallet for right now. So that covers the payment setup, and I hope this helps. If you have any other questions about payment gateways or payment setup, you can email us at support@smithcart.com, or go to our website and submit a help desk ticket. We're here to help. Thanks for watching.